Hello, fam. I'm back again with guess what? Another review. This time on my favorite brand, Estee Lauder. Of course, we're going to review the Double Wear. This is the concealer, and I have the concealer in the 5W. And I have the new formulated Double Wear Stay in Place Foundation. They're calling it the intransferable. We shall see about that because the fact is, I have very oily skin and I have yet to find a makeup that was not transferable. No matter how it says, it's not, it's, you know, not transferable. Haven't found that, but nevertheless, I'm trying the foundation in the 6WI. So, with the concealer, let's get this bad boy out. Now, what I started to do, and this, of course, is what the tube looks like, and what I normally do in my makeup routine is after my skincare, then I start with concealing and contouring before I put my foundation on. So I'm going to do that right now. Now, because of my areas, especially my dark circles, I really color correct first before I put concealer on, but I ran out of color correction and need to get some. So until I do that, we're going to try this concealer without color correction and see how well it does. Of course, already it's doing this job of brightening, and I like the Estee Lauder makeup brand. I've been using Estee for skincare for a while, but starting to get more into their makeup. I have practically every shade of lipstick that they have. Um, and I started using the concealer last year. I tried to use the foundation before, but I was not successful with finding something that didn't make me look red. And I do not have red undertones. I have, if anything, orange or golden undertones. So you know, that was an issue. So I had to use a different brand of foundation. But in terms of their concealers, I like that. Now, mind you, I'm doing a quick application. So this is going to hopefully go fast and you can see the difference in terms of how it's formulated, how this new formula is, and what it's going to do because apparently the foundation is still supposed to look like skin. So let's see if that's the case. This is what I have for the concealer. And of course, I'm going to blend that in. Can't look crazy around here. But what I want to highlight, I highlight, and what I want to create, which is what I used to have, high cheekbones, I create. But anywho, as I was saying, with this new formula of Estee Lauder's foundation, and they came out with more colors than their normal double wear, I'm curious to see how this is really gonna work out in terms of my skin. Now, the fabulous ladies at the counter, they um, were able to match me at least in the store with the correct shade, and let's hope that even without the store fluorescence, it still looks like the good shade or my shade in normal lighting. Okay, so I'm almost finished blending out. my contour. I'm sorry, my highlight, my concealer, if I can get it right. Now I'm going to work on just a quick contouring using my old tried and true MAC palette. Now I'm going to use it until I run out, and then of course I'm going to be ready for something different. But nevertheless, this is just a quick demonstration, and here we go. So taking my MAC palette, of course I'm using this color right here. You can see that the concealer, the color corrector is gone. Nothing but the edges left. I can't dig any more out. So it is what it is with that. I feel like there's some hairs or something. Hold on. You know, that's what happens when you use cheap brushes, but okay, that feels better. So I'm gonna contour with this brown shade here. Just dip into that. And I like to do that for the edges. And I do just a slight contour on my nose and on my cheek. And again, I'm doing this fairly fast, so because the review is really about the formula of Estee Lauder's new foundation, so that's what I'm excited to get into. Now, what they shared with me was that a little bit goes a long way. So with that being said, I'm going to do as instructed and use a little bit of foundation. Okay. Let's see the magic. Of course, now my hands are too greasy. I can't. Oh, it's a twist. I thought it was a pump. Okay, no, so it's not a pump. Maybe you have to buy the pump separately, but anyway, I'm gonna put a little dab. Ooh, that was not a little dab. That's more liquidy than I expected it to be, but nevertheless, let me put a whole lot of that back in the bottle. I'm messing up. Okay, so I got to definitely get the pump with that. This is what I have to use. And I'm taking my Sigma brush, my 6 Plus brush, and I'm going to use that off of my hand and put it on my face. Now, I will say that this formula is very light. And the coverage is medium to full. I can build is what I was told. So this is what it's looking like so far. And again, this is like, if I had 10 minutes to get my makeup done, this is what I'm doing to look like something decent before I hit the streets. Now, what I like to do is dab. I don't like to like drag it or brush. I like to dab. And so far, it's getting there. This is what my hand looks like after I've used it. So it has some kind of blurring effect. Um, but we shall see. It's getting there. So far, it looks good. I mean, it hasn't oxidized. Normally, when it oxidizes is when, or when any makeup oxidizes, it only changes color at that time. But so far, it does look like my skin tone, so I'm pleased with that. And that's with it blended in. Now, of course, I'm going to have to put a second layer of concealer because I did not color correct. And I didn't let it dry the first time. That was my fault. Um, I just went right on in with the foundation as opposed to letting the concealer dry a little more before I went in. But this is what it looks like. Double wear, stay in place makeup from Estee Lauder. Okay, let me do some touch-ups and then I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like with no powder on. And mind you, like I said, I have oily skin. So this is the foundation and the concealer um, on. And I haven't tried the intransferable test yet. So we shall see. I do have a piece of paper here. And just where I put the foundation on my hand, I'm going to dab and see. That's a shadow. That's, it looks like it's telling the truth. I'm dabbing, and it's very little that's coming off. So let's see if it's gonna work with my face too. Normally, because my face is so oily, I have to press it. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not intransferable, but normally a whole gang comes off way more than that. So, okay, Estee, you got my color. It looks like right. And even though it's not completely intransferable, as you can see, it's not like a whole lot is coming off as it normally would. Like normally it'd be way more than that. But normally I'm always having to press the oil out of my skin daily just to minimize the shine. But that's my review of the Double Wear Stay in Place new formulated foundation and the Double Wear Stay in Place concealer. I hope you liked it. If you did and you survived this long, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.